Welcome to today's news. My name is Nguyễn Thị and I will be your guide through the day's latest update. Despite the fierce regional and international reaction after Israel killed Hezbollah leader Nasrallah in Israel, the Israeli army affirmed that it will continue its offensive campaign in Lebanon to weaken the rival armed group.
The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, said that during the week its warplanes fired more than 3,500 shells and missiles at Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, destroying many of Hezbollah's rocket, missile, and drone capabilities, as well as intelligence facilities. The IDF affirmed that it had imposed a military blockade on Lebanon, preventing the transfer of weapons from Iran to Lebanon to Hezbollah, and causing many Iranian flights to Beirut to be diverted. However, the IDF also said that there was still much work to be done with Hezbollah, even after killing Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. Accordingly, the Israeli army needs to deploy more phases and use more resources to weaken Hezbollah as much as possible.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has just affirmed that Russia is a nuclear power, while warning about the US and the West continuing to provide military support to Ukraine.
Speaking at the United Nations General Assembly, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov emphasized Russia's stance on many important international issues. Referring to the war situation in Ukraine, Mr. Lavrov said that the root causes of the conflict need to be eliminated and Russia welcomes any initiative to resolve the Ukraine issue. According to Lavrov, Russia is a nuclear power, so the desire of Western countries and Ukraine to cause a strategic defeat for Russia is senseless and dangerous. The Russian foreign minister once again accused Ukraine of trying to draw NATO member states directly into the conflict. On the Middle East issue, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated that Russia will strive to cooperate with all parties to prevent the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah from spreading.
The government's issuance of Resolution 143 on key groups of solution to overcome the consequences of Storm Number 3 and promote the recovery of production and business has received a lot of expectation. However, businesses need to increase their access to these policies to recover effectively.
According to the assessment of the Ministry of Planning and Investment, Storm Number 3 has caused about 40,000 billion Vietnamese dongs in damage and is likely to slow down the country's GDP growth. Therefore, many experts positively evaluate the key groups of solutions to overcome the consequences of Storm Number 3 and promote the recovery of production and business in Resolution 143 of the government. Many international organizations also highly appreciate the government's policy responses immediately after Storm Number 3 to restore production and promote positive growth. There is not much time left from now until the end of the year. Many experts expect that ministries, branches, and localities need to thoroughly implement solutions to aim for the highest growth target for the whole year.
Coming up next are some updated news.
According to the Ministry of Finance, the disbursement of public investment capital in the first 9 months of this year was estimated to reach over 320.5 trillion Vietnamese dongs. The figure accounted for 47.29% of the target set by the Prime Minister. However, according to the Ministry of Finance, the disbursement rate of 9 key national transport projects is higher than the national average, although these 9 key transport projects are also facing some difficulties and problems. In order to achieve the government's target of disbursing at least 95% of the assigned capital plan, the Ministry of Finance is requesting ministries, branches and localities to carry out tasks under the Prime Minister's decision on establishing working groups to inspect, urge, remove difficulties and problems, and promote annual public investment disbursement in the units and localities under their management.
Information from the Payment Department State Bank shows that up to now, about 38 million bank accounts have had their biometric data collected according to decision on implementing safety and security solutions in online payments and bank card payments. Along with the increase in non-cash payments, transactions in the banking system when implementing biometrics are still stable, with no decline. In particular, the form of fraud via bank accounts has decreased sharply. At the same time, the number of fraud cases has decreased. According to data in August 2024, the number of recorded fraud cases was only 700 cases, a decrease of 50% compared to the average of the first 7 months of 2024.
According to a report by the Department of Crop Production, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Vietnam had about 3,400 hectares of cocoa growing area by 2022, with an output of nearly 5,300 tons. Although this area is modest compared to many other countries, the potential of the Vietnamese cocoa industry is still huge. In Vietnam, cocoa purchases from farmers have doubled compared to last year. Growers in provinces such as Bến Tre and Đắk Lắk are currently selling dry cocoa at prices ranging from VND 150,000 to 160,000 per kilogram, even up to 210,000 Vietnamese dongs per kilogram at peak times. In this context, with its unique cocoa quality, Vietnam has the opportunity to become an important source of cocoa supply in the global market.
In the first 9 months of the year, enterprises in the economic zones and industrial park recruited about 22,000 workers. However, the number of workers who quit their job accounted for 45% of the number of newly recruited workers. Besides, in the last 3 months of this year, many enterprises, especially large-scale FDI enterprises in the economic zones and industrial park, will come into operation. So the demand for labor recruitment continued to increase. Therefore, the labor market sees bustling activity in the year-end month.
In the last 3 months of this year, businesses need about 12,000 more workers. In 2025, businesses need to recruit 43,000 more workers. It is forecasted that the demand for labor recruitment in economic zones and industrial parks will continue to increase in the following years, especially high-quality labor in the fields of electronic component manufacturing and green energy. Therefore, businesses also compete in recruitment by publicly and transparently disclosing income levels and support policies for workers. Our company will start operating NXT month. Our labor recruitment demand is very high. Our company's working environment is very professional. I hope the authorities will help us. Nghệ An province has a great advantage of abundant human resources in the process of attracting investment. However, the inefficient operation of the labor market is creating a lot of pressure on attracting labor of enterprises in the area.
Currently and in the coming years, enterprises in Hoa Industrial Park need to recruit a large number of workers, but it is very difficult to recruit. Therefore, we hope that the province and departments will regularly organize consulting and job introduction activities to connect labor supply and demand, exploit and make good use of the advantages of local human resources so that enterprises can choose the labor source as expected.
In recent years, Nghệ An has attracted many large projects, especially satellite projects in the global supply chain of electronic components and green energy. Therefore, from 2024, when the projects are completed and put into production, the demand for labor, especially quality labor, will increase significantly. To meet the increasing needs of enterprises, Nghệ An is focusing on connecting labor supply and demand, aiming to build a dynamic and effective labor market.
That is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching and see you next time.